Hello everybody, once again, here I am, the Gunslinger, with another replay that I found online. This is actually from a major tournament, and you see here in the bottom left position on Zelnaga Caverns we have OGS MC, and in the top right, his opponent, the red Terran, we have EG's Puma. So this will be a very good game, some very skilled players, and we'll get some good analysis. I was actually told I need to slow my roll a little bit, so I am going to kind of take this one a little bit slower than I used to. I mean, just get some good analysis, see what these players are doing, and see what you can incorporate yourselves to become a better player. Now, a typical thing that you always see, as I've mentioned in all my videos, is that Terran wall off so efficiently with their buildings, usually starting out with that supply depot. However, a lot of times you'll see against Zerg opponents maybe the first supply depot going here to prevent the initial rush from coming. Now, chrono boosting the Nexus right off the bat, very common as well, going for that gateway. A lot of professional players and higher end players are chrono boosting the Nexus more to get that economy boost, because it kind of extends throughout the game a bit more. Once you get the necessary economy, you can get more units, better units, basically things along that nature. Now a barracks is coming down the line right off the bat, so you will be able to get a couple Marines out to defend in the near future. However, MC is going to get his probe into the main and do some scouting, maybe do some harassment on this SCV. that probe barely got out, or got in this base in time before he was completely walled off. So he's going to see this one gas and expect some form of marauder push or some form of early harassment. Cybernetics Core now going down for MC. So you will see him go for Warp Gate or some... Well, he's not going to do any sort of cheese from what anyone could see if they had scouted it. I wonder, did he end up seeing that? He hasn't even found his base yet. He's been kind of moving around the middle, scanning for those proxies. Safe decision, but not too worrisome. The orbital command is finished, as you can hear a mule going down. And now he's actually going for a fast factory. Now this may lead into a Destiny Cloudfist build, the 111, and lead to some Banshee harassment. Meanwhile, MC is going to go ahead and chrono boost his gateway to get the next stalker out, since he already has a zealot to keep the SCV from getting too much scouting information. This is crucial because coming up next is whether or not he goes for a couple more gateways, a fast robotics, or if he even dares to 4-gate. But MC, very good player. He's been struggling recently though, so it will be, I do want to see what his strategy is and how he plans on attacking Puma. Puma's going to put down a bunker for protective reasoning, as well as a reactor to get more of those Marines out. A factory is going up with a tech lab on it, so you may be seeing tanks. But it, of course, is totally up in the air. Now, the Stalker and Zealot are going to go ahead and poke into the main, but the Marines in this bunker will make sure he doesn't do anything too risky. A starport is going to go down, so as I mentioned earlier, with as well as the second refinery, you will see some Banshee harassment most likely. Now, an expansion has gone down for MC. Very good decision. If he does believe that his opponent is going for higher tech, then it is a good idea to get that expansion. He should also invest a little bit more into... Ooh, he is going to go into the 3-gate robotics. He is actually expanding before he gets his robotics down. So, kind of an interesting moment. They're both allowed to grow their armies at this time being. Specifically, that starport will be able to do some harassment, especially since there isn't as much spent in the army, but more into the economy. If we actually look at the income tab, there are more workers for MC, but with the mules, you are going to see that the mining's actually improved for Puma. Now, the first Banshee is being built in the starport, so that was a hot swap. That's exactly why they built that tech lab on the factory. Very good idea. Now, the Stalkers are just going to continue to kind of move around, see what they can kind of scout out. He's wondering, why hasn't there been an attack? Why am I not trying to defend for my life, as Protoss can do against Terran, especially once they get this first Colossi out, if they are going for that 3-gate robotics. Now, the Banshee is out. Is he going to go for cloak research? Yes, he is almost done with the cloaking field. Meanwhile, 2 barracks are going down, so we will see 3 barracks, and then an expansion will come soon, but MC is going to try and scout it out if possible. He hasn't been able to do very much, but once he gets this observer out, he's going to notice how important it is. Meanwhile, a Raven is being built. That's something else that is extreme, because that observer will get noticed right away if that Raven is anywhere near it, and due to the number of Marines, the observer will not last very long. Now, this Banshee has been seen, and I don't know if he did that much damage, but there is actually a second observer out, so very good job by MC detecting that, pushing that rush back, nothing to be afraid of. He's already seen it, he's just going to get another look. There was a Raven, so you can imagine that it died very quickly. This Banshee is just going to scout around, see if there are any proxy pylons around. Banshees can do very good at destroying them. Now, he will do some good damage against that Banshee with his stalkers, since they kind of have intercepted him. However, with that cloaking, he'll be with the cloaking, that Banshee will be able to escape. Now you see, some siege tanks are being produced. Now for Protoss, that's if you're the Protoss player MC, there are a couple things that you can do against that siege tank. Sometimes air units are very effective. If you can get maybe a Phoenix, you can actually lift off the tank, and it's not as big of a threat. However, he does have an interesting mix with the Banshees and Ravens. It's actually one of the most difficult combinations I've dealt with, but they do not have that many Banshees, so I think if he focuses on getting more gates up, getting more units out as fast as possible, he's also getting an Immortal, so that's also a very, very wise decision. However, this army is very small in comparison to the Terran army, so we will see a quick little battle coming up here. MC knows he definitely is at a disadvantage, so he needs to stay back, warp in more units, and engage when it is a little bit even. Siege tanks are going into siege mode, and they are going to be able to do some hits against the base. A bunker is about to be made by an SCV, so this battle will take place here, whether he likes it or not. He may lose his base due to how passive he is. Chrono boosting another... No, he's not even chrono boosting the Immortal. He's going to focus on destroying that siege tank. Siege tank was focusing on the base instead, and I guess that's just a loss that MC is willing to take. He is going to go ahead, but now he's going to push out the force field. Not very effective. He doesn't have that many sentries, but these Zealots are going to go ahead and do some work against these Marines. That siege tank is getting away, but the Immortals will destroy him as well. Pulling back after destroying those siege tanks, that is the goal of what he wanted to do. That observer did not last very long. Ooh, that Banshee is out and about. Can these stalkers take it down? Yes, they do. You'd like to see those workers go back home instead of distance mining, but it seems like Puma is going to go ahead and build that bunker, he is going to build that bunker due to the fact that he has favorable army size and positioning, but these Immortals are now 4 in number and can do serious damage, but more tanks have shown up, and there's a point defense drone, so that Raven is safe. That bunker is going to be completed, it seems, by these SCVs, and the SCVs will repair their comrade who has taken a lot of damage. Oh, but the aggression has moved forward. The Zealot will do some serious damage, even more so. Wow, it seems like MC is just barely going to hold on here. Will he destroy these units? I do not know. It sure seems so, as you see Puma pulling back. That is amazing. That is just the right time when to attack, when to be aggressive. He knew he didn't have the advantage at the start, so he waited. He did lose his base, but it was a risk he was willing to take, seeing as how Puma doesn't have an expansion. Secretly, he doesn't know, but it was worth it. Now look at the massive increase in supply. He basically took out all of Puma's army, took out so many siege tanks, took out the Ravens and the Banshees. That is minerals lost. He has run away with the Raven, in fact, so he didn't destroy it. However, that's just the power of MC, known as, he used to be known as the Kratos Protoss. So, you could definitely see where that skill is, and how he's not... At first, I was worried about how passive he was being, but he did turn the table. He did lose his expansion, but is able to quickly build it back again. Now, looking at it, he hasn't built a robotics bay, but he is going to go ahead and get a Twilight Council for charge, and Blink. Probably Blink due to the fact that he has a lot more stalkers out, but of course it is totally dependent on what he wants to do. Now, you see more siege tanks have been made and more are being made, but there is a Banshee on the way as well. So the Banshee siege tank Raven combination, so effective. The Ravens can drop down those point defense drones and be a force to be reckoned with. Now, you notice here the Banshee has returned with Cloak and is going to do some more harassment. Is going to, basically, he's going to do some damage against the probes, but he will not be able to destroy them. And, in fact, he loses his Banshee. If MC were sick and tired of that type of harassment, he can put a cannon down, but the Banshee might destroy it. Having just a few stalkers back there with an observer that's all you really would need to worry about. Now, this army has been rebuilt and is going to move down. He doesn't have as high of an army count as MC does, and if we look, it is basically, as far as the army goes, MC has larger in forms of minerals and gas, and if you look at basically the units, he has more workers, as Puma has dedicated solely to that original rush. He has no workers really at his base. He's kind of moving a large chunk of them with some attacks that he had. Now, if you also notice, I can take that off. I don't know exactly what I was going to say there. But here comes probably what may be the final attack. No need to build that bunker. The siege tanks are going down. Will he be able to move out of range? Zealots are about to get charged, but not in time for this combat. Zealots moving forward. Will they be able to take out the siege tanks? No, it seems like MC's army is just going to get decimated by those tanks. But will he... the tables have turned. The Zealots are going to be doing enough damage. The Immortals striking down units as they go along, but actually it doesn't seem like they'll be able to hold off that crazy combination. So powerful in the right quantities. Puma doing the right thing, it seems. Another Immortal coming out, and not so immortal, Mr. Immortal. And it seems like this time MC may have to GG here. It is all about how fast he can warp in and get that charge, but there is no need for charge when your opponent has Ravens and Banshees. Here come the Zealots. He lost yet another structure, and I don't know if he can properly micro his way away from these Marines. Looking at their upgrades, he doesn't have Stim, he doesn't have any Marauders, so he's dedicated a lot on the air units. Sky Terran, indeed. He's moving around. He's actually moved his probes away. Will he take down the Banshee? Yes, he took down the Banshee. Now he needs to take down that Raven, but another one has shown up. It was cloaked the whole time. Is going to lose probably another Stalker from this. He is trying to move them around as much as he can and micro properly, picking one off at a time. He is in so much danger right now. So many Marines just moving in. Over time, MC is not able to replenish himself fast enough. That is probably the biggest weakness of Protoss, and whoa, my frame rate dropped for a second there. I'm sorry, but MC is going to probably GG here any second. He has been struggling, but we can anticipate that at any moment. That just proves once again how effective Banshees can be. It's all basically about unit composition and how you handle the aggression, who you strike with which unit. You do have to multitask, but it is a very talented build, and Puma chose to go for it. And there you go, GG. MC has left the game, and that was a lot of spectators and casters. Holy cow. Then again, it is a pretty big tournament and a pretty big game. So that just shows you the power of that. See how you start with the Destiny Cloud Fist build, get the Banshee out for some harassment, switch to Marines, Siege Tanks, and Ravens, and that is a powerful combo. But as I mentioned, there is no clear-cut, oh, just build a robotics bay, or a robotics facility with a robotics bay type of build. Colossi may have been favorable, but that's something that is totally based on the composition of the Terran army. So hopefully I'll get some more analysis. I wish I knew a little bit more about that as well. I struggle against it myself. So I did, in fact, however, learn a thing or two. Hopefully you did as well. And until next time, see you guys.